No.
No?
No. So I'm thinking, okay, well, it's already into the 12:30 time frame. She's not sleeping here tonight, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go to sleep.
So you think she walked out?
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys about Rachel and Jose, and we're going to break down some of the body language we saw from their reunion piece. And I kind of titled this video, you can tell they're not having sex. And the reason why I did that is because whenever you remove sex from the equation, you start to see some of these behaviors where there's distance that comes in between the two people physically. And so we want to break down what we're seeing. The main focus of the video isn't the fact they didn't have sex. They might be having sex. We don't even know. Okay. But the real reason why I want to focus on this is looking at the body language because it tells an absolutely huge story. Rachel has, at least for I know from this, emotionally disconnected. And that has led to the physical disconnection. One of the things about Rachel and Jose that we know from the very beginning is that they always had physical touch, always touching all the time. And what we see in this video is they're not touching anymore. And this is important. So we're going to break it down. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is. You got the minerals, baby. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they're hot. All right, cool. Let's get into the video. I want to waste much time. I want to break down some of the things that we're seeing. And the very first thing you want to break down is literally the opening scene. Okay, let's go slightly back here.
On decision day, let's welcome Rachel and Jose.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Pause. Okay, cool. So we're going to set it up beautifully. Now, what you're going to see with Rachel and Jose in this particular scene is you're going to see them, their body language, right? And you're going to see how you're going to see in the scene how both parties struggle to be close and intimate and tight knit. Neither of them want to be able to get close to the other. Rachel especially is holding her body frame. I'm going to move this forward, sorry. Rachel especially is holding her body frame in a particular way. Let's watch Jose. All right. Look here. Now, if you look at Rachel, okay, let's watch a little more. Rachel keeps her hands to herself. Jose hasn't touched her yet. She's not doing arm to leg. She's not touching his thigh. He's not putting his arm around her. None of that is happening at the moment. And there's a reason for it because they are not comfortable. They're not comfortable in themselves in being that close to one another because things are awkward in the camp. All right. Want to watch this again? Look, watch it again. So, okay, watch how he does.
From the beginning, there was real chemistry between you two and
real chemistry, but look at them now. Look at her body position. Look at his, okay? His arm is on the back of the sofa. She's keeping her hands to herself like this. This is very reminiscent of Ryan and old girl from last season where they had fake body language. And it's like, we could tell that nothing was okay. Eric and Virginia, same thing, fake body language, and we could tell. And so we're seeing the exact same thing here with Rachel and Jose. But because we now know the backstory, this really gives us an excellent position to discuss this, right? So when you're looking at this particular scene, let's have a look at this. So when you're looking at Rachel and Jose here, look, no touching at all. These two couldn't keep their hands off each other. What's more evident is Rachel because she herself was always putting her hand on his knee, on his thigh, on something to show there was intimacy between the two of them. And she doesn't do that this whole particular scene until the very end. The very end, they decide to hold hands. It looked fake. And the reason why is because the whole entire time they spent not holding each other. Now, maybe production did that to kind of give us a surprise at the end, and they finally made it back together again, and it's like whoop-de-doo moment. But I think it's very interesting that they didn't touch each other at all. Okay, at all. Now, let's focus on some other things. All right, I want to focus on this particular scene as well. There's a question that comes up. We need to pay attention.
Lots of PDA, and it felt like a perfect connection. Did the experts make the right choice? Did they match up perfectly?
Now, important thing here is the question. Now, but just proceeding now, what did Kevin say? You guys always had PDA. We saw it every way of the show, even when they were on a table after decision day. PDA then. But now we're seeing no PDA because why? The relationship is in the dirt. Okay, that's where it really is. Okay, and they're trying to resurrect it like Phoenix from the ashes. Now, importantly, the question that being asked is, did the experts make the right choice? Okay, I know my voice is crackly, guys. Don't watch that. Okay, man's been screaming on set. Okay, did they make the right choice? Right. Let's pay attention now. Look what Jose does. And I'm going to tell you why Jose does this. Look, this is only one of a few times that Jose does this. And he only does this when he's not sure of what answer is going to come. Okay. And I'm mentioning this because it's very important. When Jose looks at her, it is not for confirmation. Okay, because I've put in my notes that when Rachel talks, she will look at Jose to confirm. Is that what we're both saying? She'll confirm and look at him. Very important when couples are collaborative on the same page and are not trying to dominate the conversation and lead it ahead of the other person. When they consider the other person, they turn to them and say, "Yeah, I think we're making it work, aren't we?" Yeah, because we've both kind of spoken about it. And you do this kind of motion of looking at somebody else and then talking. When you look at Jose, when he's asked a question, he doesn't look at Rachel for confirmation. He talks straight because he's used to being in control and doesn't want to give up that control. And what it makes him nervous to do so. And I'll prove that a little bit later on. But let's focus the scene here. This look here is not one of collaboration. This is not a look of me trying to get your approval. This is a look of, what are you going to say? Because I have no clue what you're going to say, right? Let's have a look.
Yeah. I'll go first and say, yeah. I had a laundry list. Kevin, you know this. I had a laundry
we
list.
saw your.
And I said this is interesting that he went first. I think because he needs to get in there. Because where he is now, he's on prove yourself. That is where he's on right now. He's on prove yourself to us. Okay, because remember, you are out of the books. You're out of the you're out in the doghouse, basically, right? Because you have messed up. And so that I think he went first because he wants to make sure, you want to make sure that, that he's not going in a sense, he wants to make sure that he's saying something pretty. That's what I meant to say, right? He wants to say something pretty, right? So that now he can feel like, Rachel, you're gonna get my best points to you. I'm gonna say what I need to say so that you can fall in love with me again. I'm gonna convince you. I'm gonna persuade you. I'm gonna say some nice things, right? And that's what he does. He ends up saying nice things. Now, let's focus on another part we're seeing. I want you to look at Rachel's expression when he expresses about his rage that he had in that moment, right? Let's have a look at this. Okay. Let's pay attention to this because it's really important to see what Rachel actually does in this scene. Okay, let's go here. Okay.
Solved anything. So again, it's already past 12:30. She's not here. I know if my
pause. Now, when he's explaining about the situation of it is past 12:30, the reason why he locked her, deadbolted her out, kicked her out, the fact that he locked the door behind her and quote unquote didn't do it on purpose. What we're seeing here is how Rachel, her head goes down. This is important. Okay, watch this. Head down.
My wife was gonna stay here, she would have already been here by now.
That is not a positive sign. That is not a positive sign. To do the head down like that is not a positive sign. If anything, it's showing us that you don't. First of all, she doesn't agree with his point. Number two, it's almost, I don't want to say embarrassed, but ashamed. And three, it shows that there's a feeling of confidence issues. I feel like when you're looking down at that, you almost want the ground to swallow you up. You don't want to be there right there. You don't want to be there right now. And the reason why is because you don't want to be there right now with his explanation. His explanation, you don't want to be there right now. Because his explanation doesn't match what you feel. Rachel feels like he did it on purpose, and he doesn't. And that's why she looks down. And it's going to happen later on again. All right? Look at this.
Jose, and it's okay to admit it now.
I didn't.
It was foul what you did. What you did was foul.
Oh, absolutely it was.
See, Rachel's having a little smirk on her face. The smirk isn't to say, I've got you. A smirk on her face almost is in a sense of, yo, you see what I'm dealing with? And because Kevin's also smiling, she's actually communicating with Kevin, not with Jose. And because she can see what Kevin is thinking by his body language, right? And the fact that he comes forward and says what he says, Kevin, and puts pressure on Jose, it's almost as if at least somebody's got him. I'm glad somebody's got him, because he was moving wild, and he still hasn't really admitted things, right? Jose still hasn't really admitted his wrongdoing. That's the truth. He hasn't fully admitted his wrongdoing. All right, let's move forward in this next part, right? I want to show you something about Jose's behavior again. Okay, I want you to watch his foot here. Why my throat, boy?
At all.
Okay.
And yeah, I cannot be your wife.
Okay.
Ooh. That's the wrong clip. Okay, guys. Because of copyright, I can't go in there. So I'm going to show you. It'll come after this clip where he's talking. And he starts talking. When he starts talking. When Rachel starts talking, he starts wagging his foot, right? And the reason why he does that again is because whenever he's not talking, whenever he's not the one that's in control of the conversation, he gets really nervous, right? And let me show you if I can here. Sorry. Let's go.
So you lean up and you're like, man, I can't believe this dude is acting this way. How do you feel?
Okay, so he's about to answer a question, right? When he answers the question, his foot won't move because he's in control, right? And when he's not, when Rachel begins to speak about these type of issues, his leg starts doing like a dog. It starts moving. And it's really interesting because I think, again, we talk about emotional dumps, how you can't hide how you truly feel, that it comes out in some type of way, unless you're trained to kind of hide these things. And for him, the tension, the nervousness, the anxiety, the feeling of being uncomfortable and not in control comes through the wagging of his foot. Okay, it comes through the wagging of his foot. Let me turn this a little loud a little bit. It's a bit dark. It's a little bit dark here. Sorry about that, guys. Right, from the wagging of his foot. So let's have a look at this. Okay.
Now watching that one.
At that moment, I'm still clearly upset. I'm pissed. I'm like, cool, whatever.
Pause. I'm gonna come to the wagging of the foot. I just realized this look here by Rachel, all golden. This look by Rachel is so important, and the reason why it's so important is because look at when he's explaining about the situation, saying how he was vexed in that moment in the kitchen the day after when she came to confront him, and he's coming to give us a story. Rachel is telling the truth through this. So even though she speaks like this and it's different to how she looks here, it's duplicitous, yes, but actually this is the truth. This is the lie. The lie in the sense of you can lie with your tongue, but your facial expressions give us away most times, right? Watch her face.
Whatever you want, whatever. Like at this point, like I'm checking out. I'm done. Like,
You see, she's looking at Kevin again, and it's like, at first it was like, yikes. And then it's like, and the reason again is because Rachel is realizing in that moment, what is she hearing? She can hear that this is different to what the situation actually is. And when you watch something back, what you are expecting from your partner in that moment is to say, again, I got it so wrong, and yeah, it is disheartening or sickening, whatever I've done. Yeah, I can't believe I actually did that, and I take full responsibility. Rachel had a right to walk away at that moment. I was out of my mind saying those things. It should never be okay. It's not acceptable. Right? Because there was no accountability taken by Jose. He was given excuses as to why he did what he did. Right? Rachel's hearing it and she's thinking about what the frick. Like, listen again, look.
And you kind of see it. I'm very passive aggressive. Unfortunately, that's not the best way to approach something like that.
Yeah, that was the definition of a passive aggressive moment. You're like, let me eat my.
It's kind of peak right now. Let me go back to my wagging of the foot. I want to show you that, guys, quickly. So, because I feel like I missed that part. Apologies. All right, cool. Let's go to wagging of the foot, right? I'm going to show you where we see this. Okay. All right, fantastic. Here we go. All right. So I want you to pay attention to his foot, pay attention to who's talking, pay attention to the context of the conversation. It's all important. All right, let's go.
That's still something we're working through. Are we gonna stay married?
So where are you living now?
I went back to my mom's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you planning on going back, or were you like, I'm done?
You notice the foot? Do you see the foot going again? Why, when the situation's getting peak, when the situation is getting a bit intense, his foot starts going. And it starts going because, like I said, the way he feels about the situation, right? When he's under pressure, when he feels that he's nervous or anxious, the leg starts going, right? And it's all about him not being in control and him not being able to control the narrative and him feeling uncomfortable. And it's about the fact that Rachel has the power in their interactions. She's always had the power, right? Because remember, he's insecure. So she's always had the power. And the power is to determine the proceedings of their interactions. He doesn't have that power. If we were to talk about an abuser, he's not really that abuser that has power or knows how to wield it. It's more an insecurity that wields itself when he's in certain moments. And then it comes out as it does. That doesn't mean he's any less dangerous. It just means a different motivation. I want you to understand that. There's a different aspect. He needs therapy. He needs to go and heal. He needs to go and do the work. He needs to come back single and then go in a relationship. It's very difficult to do this when you're married. I'm just saying. All right. Maybe some separation might help. I'm just saying. They're early in the relationship. There's still time. You know, like, to go and heal. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I want you to watch this next part, right?
Done.
I thought that was it.
Jose, when she moved out, did you think it was over for good?
For me, once it happened, it was like, okay, wow, this is probably, the end of it. But I knew that
Notice how still the leg is. I'm going to play it a little bit longer. Notice how still the leg is. It doesn't wag. When he's able to answer the question, he's able to have control. He's able to execute the narrative, and he's not under pressure. Because the question is about how you felt like when she left. It's not a pressure question. He can answer in a calm way. Watch his leg.
at the end of the day, I was still gonna try to do everything that I could to make the marriage work, because this is the woman that I wanted to be married to. And so,
Yeah, he's not wagging the leg, isn't he? He's not wagging the leg. He's not wagging it. He's not wagging it because he's comfortable. Like I said. All right. Let's go to another part as well. There's a scene where I think it was a little bit slightly further back actually, and it's talking about his behavior. Actually, I've already done that part. Sorry, I'm going back on myself. Where I need to go to is to talk about when he becomes uncomfortable talking about the trips that they're taking. Right. Let's fast it here.
So are you still?
So they're now talking about context. I got the wrong context. Context now. They're now talking about how they broke up, right? And they've been broken up for a month, etc., etc. We'll deal with that in another video. In this particular one, what we're hearing is that they've broken up, okay? And when you see how uncomfortable Jose gets, you'll see the body language shift. But and the reason why it's noticeable is because how solid Rachel is, right? Compared to him. He's the one under threat. She's the one making the threats. That's why she's so comfortable. Let's watch.
Broken up?
Leg is going.
we're working on things right now. It was difficult once the cameras turned off.
So they had a quick look at each other. That's probably the only time they've really confirmed and conferred, because in most of the show, he doesn't look at her to confirm. But in this one, they actually did. So that's the only, I think it's one of the one times that they actually look at each other to confirm. Most of the time, it's Rachel looking at him to confirm, or him looking at her because he ain't sure what the hell's going on, right? But this one, they looked together and said, okay, cool. I'm going to go and answer it. But his leg was wagging. And his leg was wagging because, like, again, they're not in a good place. The deeper story is they're not in a good place. Even if you answer the question, they're not in an okay place. Let's watch.
We did move in, and we got very complacent to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And we took a little bit of a break.
It's a bit tight right now, isn't it? It's a bit tight right now. All right, one last thing. We'll just go into this last part. Again, Jose is a nervous individual person. And again, his body shows exactly where his mind is at. Okay, so we're going to go to it for you guys. Here we go. All right. Here we go.
With me when it came to moving in my stuff, so I didn't feel like it was our home. It was kind of like, you know what?
Chewing of the lip. First thing, chewing of the lip when they're talking about the house situation. Chewing of the lip. Okay, pay attention.
I don't want this to be my marriage. And so I decided to leave.
The leg is going again, isn't it? It's going again, isn't it? The leg is going again, isn't it? Right? Whenever you see the leg go in, you know it's tight. Whenever you see the leg going from Jose, it's tight. You understand? Yeah? Aye.
So wait, you moved out?
Yeah, even though we are married, that's still something we're working through.
He looks cut up. He looks hurt. He looks broken. And I can't be sympathetic. Bro, I understand. You have pushed her to the edge, right? You've pushed her to the edge. And we'll do all this in another video, right? Specifically. But you've pushed Rachel to the edge. And unfortunately, she's pushed back. And this is why we're in a situation right now. Anyway, guys, like, share, subscribe. Please, I know I need lemon, herb, and tea, and I need honey. I know I'm doing that right now. But don't worry about my voice. We'll come back. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked. Stay loaded. We'll see you guys soon.